There we go. So I'm thinking this morning, and maybe it's because of my Scorpio placements. Maybe it's because Virgo is analytical. Maybe it's my Libra placement. I don't fucking know. All of this stuff that makes up my chart, even for those who don't know their fucking chart, there's something about it. Like, I like the truth. And there was once upon a time when I couldn't hear the truth without being uncomfortable because there was pain attached to it. But it's not that the thing that is said, that the truth is painful. It's like you have this sense, you have this lie, you have this notion, you have this idea. And the moment you hear the truth, it causes a breaking. That's what you feel. You can choose to feel whatever you want about the truth itself and choose to feel pained by the truth, or you can understand that it's the breaking of what you thought or what you believed or the course you've been on being false. And the reason why it does hurt is because you know. It's a resonance that you already know. So when it hits, it's like a synchronicity. And it's, it takes a minute because you take it in and it's like on a cellular level, it shifts every fucking thing that you attached yourself to believe is truth. But deep down on a cellular, intuitive, innate level, you've already been warned. You've already been put up on game, etherically, in the dream space. The thing is, because you haven't recognized that as truth, you've heard it and it's past. You may have overheard a conversation, didn't recognize it because you're like, oh, that's not me. That's not my situation. That's not my truth. That doesn't pertain to me, blah, blah, blah. And then when you get truth, the breaking happens and all of that stuff that you've already come into contact with that's been alluding to this, it starts to fire off the synapses. And neurologically, the pain is through every nerve within your being. You have a nervous system that is like, example, I was sitting down at a friend's house last night and my whole body, I felt something, my whole body just like did this mini convulsion thing. And she was like, oh damn, you felt that? Somebody was on a motorcycle outside and I felt it vibrating from the ground, through the building, up to the top floor she was on. It was a 2-story building. And it shook me to the core. And it was like, that's how deeply a person like me feels. So someone else who doesn't understand their sensory receptivity, the input system that they have, how it can just feel and pick up shit. If you're not in understanding of it, the shit will rattle your core. It will rattle you, shake you. And this is what gives people the idea that they're bipolar. Gives them that idea that they're seeing things or hearing things, or their moods oscillate and they're manic depressive and passive aggressive and fucking schizophrenic. And now these things can be diagnosed. You can go seek professional help. But in ancient times, they would just isolate your motherfucking ass and make sense of what the fuck you're feeling, what the fuck you're going through, and find a way to integrate some kind of boundary, some kind of border of protection, so you can better manage what you're receiving. Because some people's vessels are so open and not necessarily susceptible. I'm not talking to infiltration or possession or things like that, but to be to have a severe ability to receive sensory input, being that damn sensitive or whatever, it does something to a person. It makes them less susceptible to receive what they actually need, because they're so used to receiving so much from their environment, so much from interactions and things that on an everyday basis, that when it comes to someone actually giving them something, they don't recognize it, because everything else has been subconscious reception versus conscious reception. So this is something that even happens with truth. We'll consciously have a notion, but subconsciously we know the truth. When we're met with our subconscious truth from an outside source, outside person, event, or whatever, it breaks the link between the conscious and the subconscious. And now they must intermingle. And it's like, okay, this is where the subconscious can win and can get stronger if we can accept the truth, because that is aligning us with accepting true things, true whatever that comes into our environment. We'll learn how to weed out what isn't ours, what's not for us, from what is. We're working on our reception. So we have to receive the things, even if they feel difficult to feel. Because we're feeling difficult shit on a fundamental level all the time. I'm sitting here talking to y'all. I'm supposed to be doing my hair. I can do both of them. We're supposed to be receiving things on a, with an open heart, open mind. But most of the time, if it's unpleasant, it's uncomfortable, and we don't want to have it. Give me the truth. It'll be uncomfortable, but I'm so used to that breaking motion that's been happening. I can adapt and I can be more fluid. And it's like the truth that I know and the notion that I had are not that different. They're just from two different angles, and they meet at a central point. So my breaking is more like an alignment. So now it doesn't shatter completely, because our ideas and our beliefs are so solid and structured. But you have to remember, nothing in this world is so solid and structured that it cannot be broken. It's all particles and atoms that are vibrating. Some harder and faster than others, some less fast, more dense, but things can still be broken. So when it's more fluid and the truth comes in, it can just pass through. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of translucent, if that makes sense. So go through all of your pains, every last one that you can still recall, swiftly. The ones that still kind of hurt a little bit, go through all those pains one by one, sift and sort, right? The truth that you assumed or made yourself believe or agreed to without much information, or were taught from a young age, whatever. And the moment it was shattered, there was a pain or a sensation, because pain is your sensation in your nervous system. You have so many nervous endings in your fingers, in just all over. Like, it puts me in the mind of that James Bond movie where the dude got shot in the head and the bullet was lodged. And little by little, he started to lose his ability to feel pain. So it made him a stronger opponent. But at the same time, he couldn't feel when he was hurt very severely, which pain keeps you from killing yourself or being killed by something. I'm going to touch on that other topic in a minute, in another video. Not this one. So it is necessary. It's the reason you know that the pot is hot and not to touch it. Pain is the reason you know you can't do certain things. This hurts. Why is a protection measure, right? But if you're not doing something to immediately put yourself in danger, something that's mundane and, you know what I'm saying, you shouldn't fear the feeling of pain. It's like, I don't know. Especially when it comes to love. It's like, there's such a dramatic fear about losing something you love, and it's like, or just pain in general, like this is going to hurt me. Love is going to hurt me. This person is going to hurt me. The whole time it's you hurting you. So you've created this in your mind, and it can also manifest that way. But when you're faced with a truth where it's like, okay, well, this wasn't going to hurt or did not hurt. The truth is, you're actually not ready to receive it, or you don't want it because you think it's going to hurt. I mean, and the shit, that's you. And it's hard because it's your own false notion. Like you've gotten so used to receiving pain that you can't even understand what pleasure is, or that not everything ends painfully. It's like anticipating it, anticipating pain. But you're open and you're receptive to all the feels and all of this and all of that. But you can't be open to your own needs to feel what you need to feel, honestly and truthfully. I don't understand. I really don't understand. Like, rip my Band-Aid off. Rip it off. Because I'm gonna look at it. I want to assess it. And I want to clean it. And I'm going to get out my little kit, my gloves, my Band-Aids, my ointment. I'm going to patch this motherfucker up. Make sure it heals well. Doesn't leave much of a scar. Where's my Neosporin? That's just how I have to handle things now. It's a little boo-boo. It's a little this, it's a little that. I've broken bones. It wasn't that bad. My finger, I thought it was a sprain. Broke it. Me and my brother playing handball. I went and ran it under cold water. And then my mom took me to the hospital, and I realized it's more severe than I thought it was. But the pain wasn't the problem. I've fallen out of trees. I've just done some real reckless shit. I've gotten hurt. I can watch something and feel the pain of the person experiencing the fall or the scrape or the, tumble or whatever it is. I am very fucking sensitive. But one thing that doesn't hurt me anymore is the fucking truth. So I don't know what y'all are going to do with it. I don't know what's happening for y'all, but I really want to get to that space where if it's not truth, like, we don't want it. I think at this stage, we're still comfortable being lied to. I think we're still comfortable being lied to. Like, it's and lying to ourselves. What we want versus what we need. Of course, a lot of times we're going to put our needs first. But you can still get what you want, have what you want. And it's like, well, if I only focus on what I need, what I want will come. Sometimes you have to go after what you want, or stand up for what you want, or do the painful thing in order to protect what you want. You're not inflicting pain on others. You're not creating bad karma. And I think that's another thing too, that certain people don't take certain risks. They think about the karma. The thing when it comes to karma is not in your hands to in sometimes, most of the time when you're somebody's karma, you won't have any control over what happens. You'll just be prompted to respond or to act in a certain way, and that's not your doing. You're not administering karma. You're used as an instrument. So sometimes you're a person's pain. You're linked to a person's new truth where they're going to experience the breaking, the facade, or what they believed in their conscious mind versus what's true and has always been true in their subconscious mind. Because you're only using little tidbits of information. If you pick up 500, thought forms, only 7 to 8 may get processed. You're only hearing or sensing a little of everything that's coming in visually, from your audibly, sensationally. You're picking up the shift in the environment. You're picking up everything you see in your eye scope, even if you don't focus on it. It's all within. Like you can look at something one time and have it all etched in memory, and then later on you'll recall when it's necessary to what was in the subconscious. Ooh, my hair is growing out. Hold on. So, pain, man. It's truth management, not pain management. Like, this is why people develop certain nervous conditions, neurological conditions, when it deals with pain and receptivity. They're so overloaded on an unconscious, subconscious type of level that consciously they can't handle their day-to-day lives. They have fibromyalgia. They have what is that? Neuropathy. I know that's a lot with diabetic patients and stuff. The ability to feel. It's already linked to joy and sweetness and things like that. So it has a tendency to disrupt that nervous system because of what the endocrine system is doing. So I know it's all over the place, but just remember, when you hear the truth and you have this notion in mind, what's happening is not a physical. We're taking it as a pain response when it's a breaking, because you're going to feel it in every fiber, in every cell of your being. Every cell has its memory. So once you hear and align with the truth, it creates they're all switching on at the same time. So you may get chills from head to toe. You may get this tingling sensation, a startling sensation. You're activating a subconscious knowing. This is a synchronicity on a very, very intense scale. And some people can't handle intensity. Some people don't understand what intensity, the levels of intensity, if they're not inflicting it, or if they're not in the know of what is they're supposed to do in an intense way. Like skydiving is a rush, and adrenaline and things like this. This is something you can be standing still, hear truth, and your adrenaline and your cortisol get kicked up a notch from a truth that you're hearing, because the breaking is happening and every cell is at work to align you with the truth. So keep that in mind. The pain is not necessarily the information. You associate the sensation with pain. Take the truth in as it is, like any other tidbit of information, and sit with it. Look at what you thought and what you believed. You're like, damn. Okay, so if this is the truth, then what the fuck is this? It's more painful that we've been holding on to something that isn't of truth. That's the part that is conflictual and feels painful, because it's like, damn, you've actually been instrumental in thinking and acting on a lie or a contrived notion. And it may not even be that severe. It could just be something that you always thought was a certain type of way or certain way of being or had a certain outcome. But when it doesn't, this shifts everything. So just align with the shift, and let's see where we can be. So I don't know if you can be conscious of it as an exercise, because we learn something new every day. So it doesn't have to be a painful truth in order for you to do the exercise. Just a truth in general. When you find out a truth or hear something new and you believed whatever you believed, it could be something weird or random or anything like that. Say you find out something new about an animal, or you find out something new about a country, or just any tidbit of information. Look back at what you perceived. Maybe you didn't know enough. Or maybe because of what type of country this is, you thought that they didn't have much culture, they didn't have much development, or you didn't hear anything about them in the news or anything. So all of a sudden you get this truth that they're battling this, they're fighting that, they're defending this, something dramatic is happening, or anything like that. That is a new truth that you're hearing versus what you previously perceived about something. So now you have to integrate what you thought you knew about it, even if it wasn't much of at all, with the new of it. How does it make you feel? There's a sense of discomfort. There's a sense of adjustment. This is you integrating truth with what you previously had access to. And subconsciously, you could or could not have been privy to this, or it could have been something you scrolled past and not really paid too much attention. But in a conscious stream, there's a whole lot of people who know this truth and they're trying to share it. So you're going to come into contact with a new truth in some shape, form, or fashion. So try that exercise to see what you previously knew about something and with what you know now. So what is the feeling that you get? How do you integrate the two? If there's a sense of pain, if there's a sense of confusion, bewilderment, upset, or something like this is your nervous system getting triggered. But why? Why is it triggering your nervous system? Why does it bring on this feeling of conflict or this feeling of dis-ease? You understand what I'm saying? Like, you really need to start to pinpoint. Your body is talking to you every moment of every day, especially the nerves. So if you're having these anxious moments or anything like that, like, we're really trying to get down to the root of it. Okay? So that's aura, and I just got into it. And now let me finish this hair and get into that. And I'll talk to you guys later.